5, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Composer Paul Rudy's favorite moments in music are accidents. His new work, Martian Chronicles, based on Ray Bradbury's novel of the same name, will have a different sound each time it's played. Rudy takes a gleeful pleasure in allowing musicians so much freedom.
I can't compose that kind of music anymore, where it's about me controlling the ensemble and my will being, faithfully reproduced by a bunch of people in tuxedos.
The world premiere of Rudy's new piece is a part of newEar's 20th anniversary season. Unusual musical experiences are familiar to fans of newEar. The ensemble focuses exclusively on contemporary music. Rudy's piece brings together newEar's ensemble and jazz musician and horn sculptor Mark Southerland.
I really like the idea of pairing Mark with newEar, because these two different worlds, one is a composed, notated, rigid. I even go so far as to call it a fascist world, where the rule of the composer is supreme and everyone bows to the desires of the composer. There's no democracy in that at all. The musicians don't get a say in it. So on the other hand, you have this anarchist named Mark Southerland who is really good at creating new universes every time he goes out.
A lot of the challenges for me are that I'm expected to still have that great sense of freedom on my instrument, that I could go anywhere, do anything, but I still have to keep one foot on the ground. I have to know where these other entrances are and when other people are coming in.
For Rudy, there were magical moments hearing his work performed for the first time, like an unexpected sound from the percussionist.
Nice. Oh man, that just made my day. I take big chances. It's not worth doing unless there's something about it that could completely explode or fall apart. But these are great musicians. So I'm allowing them to risk that. And if it falls apart, then that's part of the experience. And this is about Martian Chronicles, for God's sakes. It ends with disaster. So when Mark and I were having the original conversations about this, I sensed a little nervousness. Like, Mark's like, what's this going to be? And I just said, Mark, the reason I want to do this piece with you and newEar is so you can be more like Mark Southerland maybe than you've ever been, and so they can be more like newEar than they've ever been. And so I've tried to create a landscape where Mark can be fully Mark. Maybe there are some challenges there, because that's what happens when you start mixing things. I hope there's some discomfort, some places where it's like, oh, I've never done this before, or because there are places like that for me in this piece.
A lot of really people that are totally brought up in the classical realm don't understand improvisation at all, and it is frightening to them. And because there's a fear about it, even though they have this amazing technique, and even if it's a totally free moment where there's absolutely nothing, they're being told there's nothing they could play that would actually be wrong, they still don't. They never allow themselves to actually go there or do that.
After the rehearsal, Rudy offered the musicians some unconventional feedback.
So I like the tension that happens there, where you're maybe trying to be together and failing, right? Or getting close. The first one was just like, that was actually a cosmic experience because it was so perfectly timed. The piece really ends with the big question mark that I felt at the end of reading that book. There was nothing that was answered for me. And I'm not going to answer anything for the listener of this piece. You're in duet. And I'm not going to instruct Mark to answer anything in a way that he doesn't want to. So the musicians get to sort of struggle with this at the end. How do we want to end it? So maybe one night it's going to be an exclamation point. The next night it's going to be a question mark. I don't know. It's not up to me. I relinquish command.